So, Wiltshire business performing so well, it's having to move out of its factory that it's been in for the past 200 years. Dents of Warminster been making gloves since the 1700s, and staff are settling into a new purpose-built factory on the town's business park. This all comes after the news this week of more job losses in Trowbridge, as Virgin Media announces that it's leaving the county. Well, despite the recession, Dents chairman Robert Yentob explains the reasons why they've survived.
Well, there's a number of things actually. It's change of strategy, an emphasis on our tradition and our quality, and we've been helped this last year by a very cold winter, which helped us here in the UK, and our export business. The brand is in big demand overseas, and we're selling much more overseas than we were before. So the push for exports, the cold weather in the UK, all these things I think have helped us.
So somebody who's being helped by the cold weather of the winter. How do you then go about moving from one old factory to a new one? Dents creative director Deborah Moore was in the thick of it.
Well, we'd been on the old site for over 60 years, so it was huge, and there were two old buildings, and every cupboard, every stairwell, you opened a cupboard door, and oh my God, there was so much stuff. Then it's a real dilemma, because it's part of your history, and really you don't want to just skip it or get rid of it. You want to take it with you, but you have to be selective. But it's gone in, because this building is so much bigger, it has gone in, and we've preserved the best stuff. And really now you walk around the building and you've got such a contrast. You've got the old machinery, you've got the museum, you've got 400- or 500-year-old gloves, and then you've got high tech. We've got the design studio with all the latest computers, and you know, it's such a contrast, but a great contrast. And you can see with the staff, we've got a young design team, but we've got a more, shall I say, mature manufacturing team who, the combination of both really is the best of both worlds.
That's Deborah Moore, who's the creative director. So the combination of old and new, it doesn't stop there either. The new factory might have lights controlled by computers, but the gloves are still made using old-fashioned black and gold Singer sewing machines. You know the ones, very famous, aren't they? BBC Wiltshire's Annie Weston's been talking to Sally Norris, who stitches gloves at Dents. Her 4 sisters have also worked for the company, and Sally's been there for over 40 years.
Anybody that's here, been here for years, I tell you, it just gets an under, and you just love doing it, and that's what's important. When you see your glove finished, and you see somebody important wearing it, because we've had loads of people wearing it. I've made for Prince Charles. I've made for emperors as well, and I don't know who they are, but they're always for, and we know for, and for ceremonial gloves as well. We've made some as well. But also, we make every glove the same, for it doesn't matter who they're for.
Do you get a bit nervous when you know you're making gloves for Prince Charles?
You try not to. You try to think of just doing it normally, because otherwise you would go to pieces, but no. And especially when they say to you, this is the colour we want, this is the only bit of leather that they've cut it out of, and you've got to do it the first time.
And what do you think about the change from the old site to the brand spanking new, so new that some things are still in boxes?
It was scary, because we've been at the other place for a long time. It's not perfect at the moment, but you've got to give it time. It's like moving house. You've got to give it time to settle in. But I'm sure it'll be fine when it's up and running.
Is it further for you to travel or not?
I walk, but it's a bit further. It used to take me 20 minutes, about 25 now. But then you get quicker, don't you, as you do it?
You'd be super fit.
Hopefully, yes. That'd be a bonus, wouldn't it? So it would be
Good exercise at the same time, Sally. Sally Norris, who's been stitching gloves at Dents for more than 40 years, with BBC Wiltshire's Annie Weston having a chat there. And, well, they are so famous, Dents. You don't realise about gloves. They stitched our current Queen's coronation gloves. They've even made gloves for Batman in their time. A Dents shop is opening today at the Warminster Business Park as well. And a little later, the implications of having a company like that in one of our market towns, in Warminster in this case, especially when along the road we've talked about job losses in Trowbridge over the past couple of days. Mark O'Donnell after 9 will look at the impact on the whole area, and a bit more from the team, a real sort of family feel at the Dents factory itself. That's a little later this morning.